over. Okay, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. I forgot about Jennifer wanting to make a long speech at the beginning. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Haruka, for helping with getting this done. This is my first time actually doing a webinar or any sort of workshop online. So I was a little bit nervous, and so bear with me. I have a little bit of a script for myself so I can make sure that I give you all of the right directions. So I'm Judy. Thanks for coming. And Mom and Dad, I am going to need your help as well on some parts of it because particularly like using the oven, I don't want all the kids running to the oven. So if you can please go ahead and preset your oven at 250 degrees. So by the time we've gotten to the point where we cut out our cookie ornaments, the oven is ready to go. Okay, so and also a baking sheet. If you line it with aluminum foil or parchment paper if you have, that would be good. I would suggest you do line your pan rather than directly on the cookie sheet. Okay. So we are going to do bread dough ornaments first. And then we're going to follow that with the origami tsuru wreath. I think that it's kind of a cute all occasion kind of thing to do, but our theme today is Christmas. So if you have all of the supplies, that's good. If you don't, there are things like your paint or glitter, food coloring, and assorted things, then don't worry about it because you'll be able to do that tomorrow if you decide that you're going to finish up the projects tomorrow. Since the bread dough will be in the oven for 2 hours, we won't be able to have you finish it, but I will show you some different ways of finishing it up. So get your ovens heated up. And so I'm hoping everybody's got their bowl, their spoon or spatula, flour, salt, and water. Use your, again, dry measuring for salt and flour, and your wet for water. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you that, you know, I've always loved crafting things. And one of my very first crafting projects was cutting my dad's socks up and making clothes for my Barbie doll. This was all before YouTube or any arts and crafts workshop. So I pretty much had to sort of figure out what I like to do, what I was interested in, but I always like to make things. Okay? There's also this study. Is everybody on? So there's a study that it was really important for using your hands or doing craft. It was really good for the hand to brain connection. So during this time, you know, it's kind of been a rough time for all of us. They say crafting or using your hand helps you to relieve stress and sort of feel balanced and well again. So this is something that you can do. It doesn't have to be just this. So when we're doing the bread dough, I'm sure that most of you have played with Play-Doh or Fimo or some sort of clay. So you're not going to be brand new to this process. If you do have your supplies, let's go ahead and get going. Anybody who isn't on right now, the first steps are really easy. You can catch up like in a second. So we're going to take our flour, all-purpose flour, everybody. And if I'm going too fast, let Jennifer or Haruka know, just chat and say, Judy, you're going too fast. And then we'll pause and I'll start it over again. Okay. So 2 cups of flour in my bowl. Please don't put your face too close to it and don't inhale the flour. That's kind of messy if you're, I get messy. Yeah. So anyhow, 2 cups of flour inside of your bowl. Is everybody there? Yeah. Okay, so that's my 2 cups of flour. I'm not a tidy person, so that's okay. So if you're not a tidy person, that's cool too. Okay, so then into my 2 cups of flour, I'm going to take my salt and put a 1/2 cup of salt inside of my flour. Okay. Okay, and pour that in there. Okay. Then you're just going to stir it together. It's dry, just a dry ingredient. Just stir the salt and the flour together. So it's pretty well mixed. Okay, is everybody with me? I hope so, because I can't see you. So stir it up. And then take your water. You have 3/4 of a cup of water. Don't pour the whole thing in at one time, okay? Maybe half. And then sort of start mixing it up. And it's gonna look real lumpy, but just stir it in as well as you can, okay? And then add the rest of it. And it's kind of the boring part of it, but start to stir it in. Okay, so mix your water, flour, and salt with your spoon. I use a spatula because this gives me the utensil that lets me scrape the side of the bowl. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Okay, so you want to get all the dry stuff and the water mixed in really well. Okay, so as you're going along, it's going to look chunky like this, kind of, you know, not all blended in together, but just keep mixing it. When we get it into our hands, we'll be able to get it more smooth. But just mix that flour, water, and salt together. Okay, so you can sort of touch it, feel it, and then squeeze it a little bit. And if it's sticking to your hands, it means add more flour. Okay, so you want it, the consistency to be so that you can lift it out and handle it. So if I lift it out now, it's a little bit sticky. Okay, there's too much sticking to my hand. So I'm going to take my extra flour. So leave the flour on the table nearby so that you can scoop a little bit more and sprinkle it until it's not sticking to your hands. So just inside the bowl, just go ahead and just doing that. This is, like I said, probably the most boring part of it, but if you like squishing dough, then this is your thing, okay? Right, I hope we're all kind of getting there. It is, it takes muscles to get everything in there. So you want to get everything off the side of the bowl. So we're gonna, see, now I can handle it without all the dough sticking to me. So the flour is really important throughout this whole project because you don't want your dough sticking to anything. So just keep on kneading. Is everybody okay? Just want to make sure that nobody is having a problem with getting their dough together. Okay. Right. So now it's pretty good. I can handle it. It doesn't have to be completely smooth, but if, I know your hands, some of the kids are probably kind of small, so you can always have your mom or dad help you if your hands get tired. Okay, so to me, it's looking kind of good. So basically, this is your main part. This is the most important part. Just getting your dough together. The rest of it, the decorating and all, is something that you can take your time with, and you can be creative. Okay. So once it feels good to me, okay, take your bowl away. You're going to go to your cutting board. So you should have your cutting board. I brought out my Christmassy cutting board. I have my rolling pin, my Christmassy rolling pin. So hopefully you have that. If you don't, you could always roll with a cup to make it flat, because not everybody has a rolling pin. Okay, so now take my miracle flour, put it on the cutting board. Okay, I don't know if I can show you that, but yeah. So I flour my cutting board, and you're going to be doing this pretty much throughout because you don't want your dough sticking. So sprinkle some flour on your cutting board. Okay, you got that? Tell me if I'm going too fast. Okay. Sorry, you can't like really see what's going on here. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Audrey. Audrey's my technical person. So we're going to start kneading. And so you want to make sure that all the flour and the salt and all, you don't have any dry spots. So let's knead it. I'm not the most professional looking kneader. You've probably seen bakers who do this and pizza makers who do a much better job than me. So if it starts to stick, just be liberal with keeping the surface floured and just keep kneading. Okay, so you're going to knead this for a little while. So I'm going to ask Haruka or Jennifer, whoever is controlling this, to open up, because while we're kneading, then I would like to hear some stories from you, and you can share with everybody any of your favorite holiday stories or traditions. Since Christmas is going to be a little different this year for all of us, then maybe you have some really happy memories or traditional things that your family does every year. So please, it'll be fun while we're doing this boring kneading thing, that you get on and tell us, a Christmas story, a Christmas memory, a tradition that your family does. Everyone has something different that they do during Christmas. Is somebody going to talk to us? Can you say your name? And can you talk and knead dough at the same time? Right? It's more fun doing these boring things when you could be with other people. So who's going to speak about their Christmas or holiday memory tradition? Is somebody talking?
Well, what we do as Kims, we wait for Santa to come on Christmas Eve. And we take care of our elves. We don't touch them, and we have an advent calendar. We started that this year.
So have you bought your Christmas tree already?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. It'd be nice if you could see all of these things. So those are your Christmas holiday family traditions?
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're still meeting. We still have a minute or so. Does anybody else want to tell us what they do for the holidays?
So we go to LA every year, and my aunt and uncle stay in a hotel, and they have two dogs. They died, and then they got two new dogs. And when we go to Los Angeles, my grandparents are there. We're at Palos Verdes, and we normally decorate the tree once we get there. So we have our tree at our house, and then we decorate my grandparents' tree when we get there. And this year we are gonna have Christmas at my aunt's house, same aunt that I was talking about, and
And it's gonna be fun.
And it's gonna be, and
One more thing, okay?
okay, and
The dogs will be there.
the dogs will be there, and I can't make them.
Such a good story, right?
I love it. I just realized that Brian Matsumoto is on here. I can't really see all the names because my eyeballs aren't so great. But so happy that all of you are with us, and thank you for sharing the story. So hopefully you have kneaded your dough and it looks pretty good. There aren't any like chunky flour pockets or soft pockets. So this is what it looks like, okay? And if you can tell, I was constantly flouring my cutting board, and that's really important, especially when you get to the rolling part and the cookie cutting part. So I don't know if you have cookie cutters or not. If you don't worry about it, but I have like my little variety pack of cookie cutters. And so we're almost getting to the point where we're gonna cut them out. So I have a heart one, and I made this heart one, and I put some coloring into it. And so yeah, so anyway, I put food coloring in this one, and it's pretty good. This one looks like a cookie, actual cookie, but seriously, do not try to eat these. These are not edible. Make sure your little brothers and sisters don't start chewing on it, or that your pets don't get to it. Okay, so this is just kind of one of the samples. And then the star, I think I might be doing a star, but I'm doing a smaller star today. And so this is our glitter. So these are just sort of just different samples of where we're going. So you got your dough on your cutting board. What I would suggest, because for those of you who have food color and decide that they want to add color to it, you can do it. So I take my dough and I can just sort of divide it into two pieces. One of them will be sort of plain dough. You can paint it and do whatever. Then the other one, I'm going to put it in half again. Hopefully we're all at the same place. I can't see you, so I'm just praying that we're all in the same place. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my little chunks and just sort of knead it. And I'm going to put some food coloring into it. So this is a caution for food coloring. I'm going to start with green because that might be good for my Christmas tree. I was saying, if you don't have a cookie cutter, I have a little cup here and I can just cut circles. I have an empty can. That's kind of cool. This is large enough so that you can do a bunch of things with it. But yeah, so don't worry, don't cry if you don't have a cookie cutter. You can get some in the future. So I'm going to take one of my chunks of dough and I'm going to take my green food dye. I don't know if I want that much, but anyways, put your food coloring, make a little dip in it. If you have food coloring, good. If not, just watch. And I put green food coloring in it. And now I'm going to start to knead that together. Okay. So this gets kind of icky, right? So after you do put food coloring into your dough, you want to go and immediately wash your hands with soap and water. And please don't get it on your clothes. So just keep mushing it together. Keep mushing it together. It's pretty too if you don't get all of the colors blended in, that it comes out kind of marbly. So you can do it at any point. You can make it solid green, or you can stop once you're at the color or the whatever that you want. Okay, so I'm going to actually, just for time, I'm going to leave it marbly. Okay, and I'm not going to work with this right now because probably not all of you have food coloring, but I just want to let you know that you can add food coloring to your dough. And if you don't have food coloring and you want to do food coloring, then take your piece of dough that you want to save and color, put it in a Ziploc bag. Excuse me. It'll stay good to go for about 2 or 3 days, so you can get back to it once you're able to buy some food coloring. So For everybody else who doesn't have food coloring and isn't planning on food coloring, take your plain dough. Okay, so this is where we're going to start rolling. And again, maybe I'm like sounding like a broken record, but flour your baking, your cutting board. Flour it well, because once we start to roll, there's nothing more disappointing than having your dough stick to your cutting board. Okay, so we got that. That's my dog. His name is Prince, and he's a Maltese, and he's noisy. Okay, so I actually put some flour on top of my dough as well. Okay, so that way my rolling pin doesn't stick to the dough. So mom and dad help if it gets to be a little bit tricky, but I just go from the center and start rolling out. Okay, I hope you're all with me. If you bake cookies before, if you're a baker, then this is nothing to you. You know what this is. So roll it out to about 1/4 of an inch. At the temperature that we're doing it, and for the amount of time that we're doing it, 1/4 inch is the ideal thickness. If it gets thicker and you decide that you're going to do some hand sculpting with your dough, you can do anything you want. The time gets longer. The thicker it is, the longer it takes. That makes sense, right? Okay, so I think, is everybody rolling? Are we rolling? Okay, so make sure, oh wait, there's a bump in here. Okay, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but hands up, we've got it at 1/4 of an inch on our thing. So this is a good time to take a peek and make sure that, oh look, this is so good that my dough is still rolling around on the cutting board. Yeah, so that means that it won't stick. So let me get your cookie cutter, whatever shape you have, it doesn't really matter. Oh, maybe I'll do a heart first. Let's do heart first, since that's kind of generic, right? You don't have to have a Christmas tree, and you don't have to have all the other things to it. I'm gonna take my little bit of flour that I put aside in a little bowl. I'm gonna plunk my cookie cutter into my flour. That way my cookie cutter doesn't stick when I press it down into my dough. Okay, so don't start at the center. Think about your layout so that you can get as many of your cookie cutters on there. So I put it on there. Make sure that you're pressing the side that's not the cutting side, and push down. Okay, and because you floured it, you can lift your cookie cutter up. Okay, so I'm going to do a variety. If you want to do all hearts or all squares or whatever it is that you're doing, that's good too. So I'm going to take my snowflake, dip it in the flour, make sure that it's not going to stick, and then I'm going to find another spot, and I'm going to press it, and I'm going to lift. Ooh, that one almost popped out. Okay, so I still have some more here. So maybe I'll do the gingerbread guy. Same thing. Dip your cookie cutter into the flour, and then find a spot and push your cookie cutter down. I hope everybody's okay. Anybody behind? Is anybody having any trouble? We're all okay. Haruka or Jennifer will let me know if I'm going too fast, because I can tell myself that I'm starting to speed up a little bit. Okay. That's my dog, Prince. So from this roll, since I very carefully figured it out, I'm able to get 4 shapes into my dough. I got, oh, look, it popped out already. This is so great because I had enough flour on my cutting board. So it actually just popped out, which is good. And then my little gingerbread guy, he popped out too. So when you're removing your cookie at the cut parts, do not try to lift the actual snowflake or heart or whatever it is. Lift the excess. Go from the excess. Okay, so peel away all the parts that are surrounding, and then just sort of set it aside. Work from that. Otherwise, if you try to lift it, you might lose the shape. So I actually just did a really beautiful job because, it's not always a beautiful job because I do forget to put enough flour. So now we can keep on going with that, with whatever, however many ornaments you want to make. I'll take the dough I just took off the excess, and I will put it in a Ziploc bag. Voila. That's supposed to be. So these are my pieces that just came out that I just cookie cut. Okay. Isn't it cute? I think so. Mom always said, if you don't praise yourself, who will? So anyways, that's what I do. And I set my dough aside. So I'm going at this speed. I'm going to be able to, 4 cutouts out of that one roll of dough, which was half of my dough. And then, I should use this one too. Okay. So you know what that one looks like. So I hope you're there. If you want to sculpt, so let me show you while I'm still working on the plain dough. You can, you know how to make snakes, right? You just kind of roll it. And this would turn into a great candy cane for all of you who like to just sort of fiddle around with the dough and just curve it over. And look. Okay, so you can make it look like a candy cane once you start to paint it. You can put the stripes on, whatever. You can make it into an ornament as well. If you want to get more complicated, you can do like a Christmas mouse like I did, or a Christmas bear, or a cat, or a dog. Yeah, just sculpt it yourself, okay? So that's stuff you can do if you don't have a cookie cutter yet. So I'm going to roll my chunk of green, just so you know what the dough looks like if it's got food coloring in it, and how pretty that's going to be. Okay. So this is my green food coloring. I didn't completely knead it all in there, so it has this really pretty marble effect. My magic flour. Sprinkle. This is all, pretty, it's a good way to meditate, actually. And I think that's what bakers get out of doing all of this, is they find it's a peaceful thing to do. Okay. So after I cut my tree, then we'll just keep moving on, because I want you to see what a marbleized piece looks like. So take off the excess from the outside, put it aside, and there's my tree. It's pretty, huh? It's pretty good. Okay. So we're at this point, and hopefully, Mom, Dad, you didn't forget to turn on the oven to 250, because we're getting to the finishing point on this. Please be creative. You don't have to stick to any of the designs or anything. You can do whatever you want, because it doesn't have to be a Christmas ornament. If you take a piece of dough, like I said, you could do a handprint. You could actually take like little twigs and leaves and things and press it in here, and you'll have a sort of nature look about it. So I know you guys are probably more creative than I am, and you're probably yelling out all the different things that you can do with it that I haven't mentioned to you yet. So be creative, go ahead, make a sort of things. Okay, so we're at this point. The oven is on, your baking sheet is ready to go. And this is the part that sometimes I forget, and it drives me crazy. I have forgotten to poke holes. So you can take you can get a paper clip or a little sharp metal thing. So Mom, Dad, you're the gophers, so go find something like this, and you're going to poke holes. So while I'm poking, you're probably running around looking for a paper clip.
You can use a pen or a pencil too.
Huh?
Pen or pencil would work.
A pen holder?
Pen or pencil.
Template? I can't read your lips. I'm sorry, my technical assistant is talking to me. So this is really important. So what this is doing when you poke holes in your ornament like this is releasing the steam from inside. So make sure that you have enough little holes poked. It's really not going to make a big difference in the way that it's finished or what it looks like. So just go ahead and poke away. Okay. If you don't do it, it gets puffy, and that's I had to throw away a few things because they just really puffed up. So do that. It's really important. It's also, this is also kind of fun too. So poke along with me and keep poking little holes before you put this in the oven. The one thing that, like I said, without the holes, they puff up. And then also, and I guess I should just tell you later, but they will have a tendency to curl up as well. So you have to keep an eye. So, okay, I'm going as fast as I can. I hope you're keeping up with me. Poking holes. Be careful not to mess up your cutout. Anyways, hopefully you're with me. Okay, are you guys all doing this? Poke holes, poke holes.
Grandma,
Yes.
did you forget the hanging holes?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Mags. Leave it to family to call you out, right? You're right. I did that plenty of times too. I did that with my star. See, forgot the hole. So anyway, thank you, Maggie. I will do that. Thanks for keeping me on my toes, because I get nervous and I'll forget. Thank you. So anybody else who thinks I'm making a mistake, go ahead and call me out. It's fine. I don't care. But I do hear you. Thank you. Okay. So let me show you my gingerbread guy. If you can see it, I poked a lot of little tiny holes in it, and that's going to release the steam so that it doesn't get all puffy. What is that? The third time I said that? But because I made mistakes, so many mistakes with it, actually this one here, it got kind of puffy because I didn't poke enough holes in it. So anyways, it's a good thing to do that. So, okay, Mom, Dad, we're going to take the baking pan, and if you floured your cutting board well enough, you'll be able to pick it up with your hands without having to scrape it off. Scraping it off is going to, you know, probably, and my assistant here, my Vanna White.
But you didn't poke the holes at the top.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, Maggie. Oh, Maggie. Almost forgot again. So for I'm going to do the heart, and rather than putting it in the center, I took a little teeny everything. You can have a skewer or a chopstick or something like that, and don't do it in your hands like I just now did. And make a hole that's big enough so that when you want to string it, you have a nice hole to string it. Okay, so Vanna White is taking my stuff as I go. Oh! And so for every single one, I don't know how many you were able to get out of the dough that you rolled out, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of mine, because maybe my cookie cutters are kind of big. But anyway, I hope everybody is okay. How many did you make, Maggie?
I did 2, 4, 9.
Whoa, that's pretty advanced. You beat me. Okay. Oh, all right. So everybody is making sure that they poke their dough and they get the hole in their piece so that they have a way to hang them. If you're not planning on hanging them and you're going to create a collage or something, you don't need to do that. But okay, so it's on the baking sheet. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I should put my candy cane on there too. So I'm going to put my candy cane that I did by hand. I actually made one piece that, because I had a little bit of dough left over, and to celebrate the year of the ox. Don't tell me that it doesn't look like an ox, it looks like a crab. But anyways, this is like a little chunk of dough that I had left over. And so I just put it together. Once I paint it and once I put the eyeballs on it, you can kind of see it as an ox. It'll look more ox-like once I decorate it. But anyway, so this is something you can do. So, don't feel restricted to doing just the cookie out. I have, oh, this one I started a snowman. So when I used my cup to make little circles, you can see, I just cut 2 circles out and I started a snowman. It'll look like a snowman once I paint it and put his face on and all of that. So anyways, this is sort of freestyling without a cookie cutter. You can do that, okay? So I hope you will do that. So now your cookie pan with your dough is going to go into the oven. So did I turn around and go? Here, give it to Vanna.
Judy, I do have one question. So when you said with extra dough that you have and you could use it 2 to 3 days later, do you just leave it at room temperature?
No, I put it in the refrigerator. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. No, you could just stick it in there. I have a couple of chunks in the refrigerator that I had done a couple of days ago and I saved. But yeah, it's pretty good for about 3 days or so. You might have to add a little bit of flour to it to get it back to this condition where you can handle it. Oh, here, it looks like mochi. Happy New Year. But anyways, those are my chunks that I stuck into the fridge because I couldn't. I sort of pooped out when I was doing it. So it's probably good for me for another day or two. So yeah, don't feel like you got to do it all today. Okay, what you're doing today is just sort of making the dough, the cookie cutters. They're all pretty simple and easy to do. The part that, you know, we all sort of take time on mostly is the decorating part. You know, we sort of sit there and stare at our cookie dough and wondering what to do with it. So I did that. I mean, with this one, it's so simple, right? I found a sticker and it had sort of transparent backing and it says joy to the world. And the glitter that you see on there is paint. So I just sort of painted it with a glittery paint and then stuck this sticker on. And then, you know, I'll say it again, seal it. So when it's sealed, then all of this will just stay on there and last a long time. Okay. So yes, save your dough if you didn't finish your project today. You're not going to be, I'm going to show you decorating techniques or things that you could do to decorate. You won't be able to decorate your dough until tomorrow because it takes 2 hours to bake. And then it has to cool down. You don't want to put any glue or paint or anything on your ornament until it's completely cool. So don't be in a hurry. That gives you time to think about how you want to decorate it. But I use acrylic paints. This is the glitter paint that I used on the heart. So it's transparent and it has a bunch of like little glitter in it. I also have like gold paint. Yeah, I don't want anybody running out and going by like $100 worth of craft supplies. So I'm sure you have plenty enough things. If you have felt tip markers, you can decorate that way. If you have the handy Elmer's glue, you know, you can always do all kinds of things with this too. And you can attach little ornaments or whatever you want to do. This was a Mod Podge to make it sticky. Painted it, Mod Podge to make it sticky, and I did I sprinkled glitter on it. These aren't my best samples. They're sort of So anyhow, when you go to decorating, you can always do exactly what you want to do. You know, feel free. So if we're not doing Christmas, yeah, you can do Valentine's, you can do birthdays, you can do whatever celebrations you want. It's probably a nicer sentiment, a nicer thing to give something that you made. People always appreciate things that you made yourself because when you make it yourself, you put your heart into it and people know that. Your time and effort and your heart means a heck of a lot more. So when you go to the oven and your bread dough is done. So this one's a little, oh, can you see? It got a little puffy because I didn't put enough holes in it. But this is the color that it's going to come out. This is your plain dough. Okay. It looks boring, but you're going to paint it. You're going to do whatever. So this turned into this after I baked in the oven. So that's the color of it. So that's the German. The green one I did, and this is food coloring, so the whole dough is green. I started doing one of the trees, and I just used some gold paint, the gold paint that you saw, and I just sort of did an abstract on it. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but please, I know that you guys are way more creative than I am, and that you'll do much prettier things with your ornaments. So I'm going to take my heart, and I'm just going to freestyle, just so that you kind of get an idea. I buy these little tiny things so that I can pour my ink into them. I mean, my paint, and then they're also washable and reusable. So I put some red paint in there because red dye doesn't make it completely red. Then I'll just take it and I can make it red. So this is okay. This is washable acrylics. Audrey, don't drip it all over your clothes, okay? All right. Are you having fun? So you paint it. Well, you know what? It kind of looks good if I do half and half. Okay, so that's just one of the things. Here, you can use acrylic paints. And then, don't do this at home, but I'm going to use the Mod Podge spray. This is not for you to do at home. I'm just doing it because I have to, because I can't step outside. Okay, so I sprayed a little bit of adhesive. It's calling us. And then I have some loose glitter. At this point, it's probably not as instructive, but while your dough is baking, this is just something I'm going to do. So I took the loose glitter and made it a sort of half and half thing. Okay? So anyways, it can be fancier. This isn't very fancy. You know, it's sort of plain. Oh, and the fumes are starting to get to me. And then I'm gonna let it dry. It's probably gonna take about 10 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna lay down to dry, okay? So it's just to check in, is everybody already there? Your stuff is in the oven, and we're all kind of patiently waiting for your ornaments to dry. Any questions or anything that was confusing for you at this point? Then let's just answer the questions, or you can make some comments at this point.
What temperature do you put the oven?
250 degrees, please.
150 degrees.
250 degrees.
Okay.
250.
250 at a very low temperature. So it's, just essentially drying it out. You can't. So drying it out more than it's baking it. So all you kids, I'm hoping that you got there. All you big people, I'm sure that it isn't as challenging for you, but this will be something that you can do at your.
Jen is asking how long do we bake it for?
Oh, bake. Oh, did I not answer that?
Just sitting.
Okay, so 250 degrees, a low oven temperature, and then do it for 2 hours. Important. After about 30 minutes, Mom, Dad, please go check, because they have a tendency to start to curl. So you want to make sure that you look in on it about 30 minutes in. And if it's looking like the edges are starting to curl up, take your spatula and press them down and make your dough behave, lay down. And then you'll check it. Probably you don't have to do anything to it after the first hour, but just check it, because again, it's another one of those disappointing things if you don't get it right the first time, although you have plenty of opportunities to try. Okay, so was that the only question? How many minutes are we? Okay. Are we good? Is that the only question? All right, everybody was listening and following my instructions. I really like that. I like that a lot because I'm totally into bossing people around. Okay, so while your ornaments are baking in the oven, we're going to shift over and we're going to start working on our origami crane wreaths. Okay, and hopefully most of you know how to make the basic crane. This is a little different because it's flat and it's called a modular. So each crane interconnects and becomes this wreath. You'll need 7 of them. Sorry, I'll be right back. So you'll be making 7 cranes. This, I made a little card. So this is a 3-inch square origami. And so I wouldn't recommend that you start on the 3-inch because it's kind of tricky when you're using small paper. But this is something once you kind of get the hang of it that you can make cards. And it's really cuter than I thought it would be. This is the 6-inch paper. This is the size that a 6-inch origami paper will make. I put them on the back of a Dixie plate. I think this is a luncheon plate, not a dinner plate. And then this is the 7-inch. So you can see that there's a difference in the size a little bit. This one was done with origami paper 6 inches. This one was done actually with my junk mail. I just, if you don't have origami paper or you have a lot of junk mail, I just cut pages from a catalog or something to 7 inches, and then it turns into this. So if you have paper plates too, that's kind of a good thing, a good way to mount it, is where you go like this. I mean, that's pretty too, but you can do more things with it if you mount it on a paper plate. And I'll show that to you when I trot over to the other table, okay? All right, meet you at the other table. There we go. Okay, so okay, we're not professional tech people. So anyways, so here's this other one. I use origami paper. I used recycled magazine pages, and this is the washi paper. And it's just really beautiful. You know, I didn't realize that that you can do this and have it look really good. So this is, I think this is 7-inch. Yeah, 7-inch washi paper. The washi paper I bought at Paper Tree, and I love that store, and I love the people there. Very often when I do any sort of paper crafts or origami crafts, I will go over to Paper Tree and get a lot of good advice and instruction when I'm doing projects. So since right now we're sort of at that place where we can't go shopping and be in the store without being careful, you won't be able to probably talk to Linda yourself directly. But anyways, like everything else, the bread dough that we did, all occasion. This one, if I use some heart paper, and so if you, well, I don't know if I like the color combination so much, but you can make it for Valentine's. You can make, add embellishments to it. Like this one, I added some craft store dried flower, silk flowers, and I just kind of put them in the center. And then it becomes a really nice piece. I suggest too, you know, that these do get mounted onto the paper plates. Otherwise, it kind of looks like that. So stepping away. Here's another way that you can use it. If I tilt it, I have this little tea light holder, and I use my origami wreath as kind of a base for it. Just kind of pretty for like a table centerpiece or on your mantle. I got this a long time ago. I don't even know where I got it from. Keep going. Okay. Another way that you could use it is by placing a candle. Oh gosh, it's kind of like an oddball position. But anyways, this is a battery operated, no flames, no fire, but it's a nice little stand for your candle or for your table. this one, I put a tiny plant. These are make really cute gifts. So, I put a little tiny plant in the middle of it, and it looks pretty cute. So
Oh, Ruby says that she needs a little bit of help.
okay,
Because
Ruby needs help.
She says she's not as good with origami.
Okay, don't worry, because I'll try to go as slow as possible with the origami, because I know that there are going to be some parts of it that's a little bit tricky. But mom and dad, I hope that you're there and that you will assist. If there's any questions that need to be answered, I can do that. So I'll try to go as slow as possible. In order for us to get the 7 cranes that we need to complete a wreath, it'd be nice if somebody was helping you get these done. I will try to do as many as I can during this session. So, because I need to teach you how to assemble, get it all put together. Okay. So anyway, so you got a plant, you got a candle, you got a little tea light holder, and here's the really special one. You can make a picture frame, and if that person, oh, okay, there you go. Flip it around. Looks familiar to you. That's me when I used to have dark hair, right? So anyways, it's really cute as a picture frame too. So these are great, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, or you can even just make a collage and put it on your wall. So these are some of the ways that you can use your origami wreath. And you can make it as big as you want. If you want it increased to 12-inch paper, then you will get a much larger wreath. I also go to the craft store and I buy these garland things. And this is what I use to cut it up. So decorating it, there are assorted ways of decorating. So, if you put some of these faux leaves around it, it'll make it look like a real wreath. And you could hang it on your, well, I don't know if you want it outside, unless you want to use your spray sealant and make it kind of waterproof. Probably wouldn't survive rain, but you can at least protect it somewhat if it's going to be outside. So I go and I buy all this garland and stuff like that.
Judy, really quickly, somebody's asking how long after you put
I have another question.
Yeah. How
Okay.
long after should they
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to adjust because I can't hear the sound. Go ahead. Okay.
How long after should they check on their ornaments?
In the oven?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 hours total time. So I said I would like mom and dad to check the dough in about 30 minutes to make sure that it's not curling. And if it is starting to curl, take your spatula and press it down flat. I would do that twice in the first hour. After the first hour, it's pretty much not going to do that anymore. And it's also a good time when you're checking it to see if it's curling, to make sure that you had enough holes poked in it so that it's not puffing. So you're checking for puffing up and you're checking for curling. So that would be within the first hour. After that, you can sort of relax, put your timer on to make sure that you get to it. I did burn one batch because I completely forgot because I was watching TV. So yeah, it takes a little bit of attention, but once it's done, it's done. Okay. Does that answer the question? Okay. All right. So get your origami paper. Okay. I might need to have a little bit of camera movement on this, but as we start, this is a 6-inch piece of paper. Sorry, the video is has this little delay, split second. So as I'm doing it, it's a step behind me. Okay, so take your origami paper. That's my dog. And fold it in half. Okay, you got it folded in half. Very important. Make sure you make your creases really sharp. You don't want it to be kind of wonky. Just make sure you fold it. Then you're going to open it up. And I will do this at least 3 or 4 times for you so that Even trying to follow myself, I get confused. So you're going to take it the other direction and you're going to fold it in half. Okay. I think that there are probably maybe 7 steps to this, so it's not as complicated as you might think. Okay, so once you folded it, you've got a crease going this way and a crease going that way, right? Turn your paper over so it peaks on the top. Okay, right? And don't worry, I'm going to do it again, so don't stress. Then I'm going to crease it and do a triangle. Okay, then I'm going to open it up. If you know the basic to-do steps, then you know you're probably familiar with a lot of these folds. So now I folded it the other way. Okay, keeping that pointed side up like this. You can see just from the camera, you can see that there's 2 triangles going here like this. And then this part of it is creased inwards. So you can lift it up. That's my dog. And then you're going to push those 2 sides in and get your triangle again. It's a smaller triangle. And continue to crease it. Okay. The better you crease, the sharper your crane will be. Okay. So now we're down to here. Hopefully you're able to follow me to this point. Right. So what's facing me looks like this because I pushed in the side. So it looks like this. Oh gosh, working on camera like this is making me dizzy. Okay, so it's down. Crease it. Okay, and since I don't know all the technical origami terms, I'm going to call this the airplane fold. Okay, the point, you're going to take your one side and you're going to, and what I do is I start from the tip first because I want my tip to be nice and clean, and then follow your fold guideline. And you're going to do what I call my airplane fold. Okay, are we there? Stop me if you need to. Then I'm going to take the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. And I will work from the tip to make sure my tip is clean. And then I'm going to fold it down. And I'm going to do a good crease on it. Okay, so now you've got this. Okay. Tell me if you need to pause. Okay, so this is the part. It may not be so tricky. Okay, something came up, Audrey. I can't read. I'm sorry, I can't read the text that's coming up on the thing.
It says, how do you get to the triangle?
Okay, so I'm gonna. All right, everybody. This is where where we're going to be kind and we're going to help everybody else so that they're all at the same place. For you who are already at this point, thank you for being so patient and so kind. So I folded it in half, and then I folded it in half, and then I did the triangle. Okay, hope the person who asked the question can see this. And then I'm going to do that in the opposite direction so that what you have is this design on the creases. Okay, so you're going to take it and flip it over so that the part that is popped up is facing the top. Okay, so if you do that, you can see that on the paper itself, you can see this sort of triangular shape. That's go back and forth. Okay, so you see this triangle that's going, right? Do you think I need a pen to describe?
You can draw it with a pen just
Okay.
to show the line.
My technical assistant tells me that I should sort of show you that. Okay, so can you see it? There's a triangle there. So you're going to take the sides.
Judy, can you use a darker color?
Thanks for your recommendation. Love you. There. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that triangle, and it's the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, well, I'll do that again. And I'm going to do it like that. So it's kind of a crisscross across the paper. So these are nice pens. Oh, okay. All right. So this is, you see your, now you can see those two triangles, right? And so you're going to push your two sides in. Where's the camera angle on this thing? You push those two sides in, and then what you should get when you push it down is this. So you push the sides in, and you see the triangle pop up. Are we there? Yes. Okay, so now we got the triangle. So then we went to the airplane fold again. So we take that triangle that we just did there, and we're going to go from the tip and fold it down like an airplane fold. Take the other side and do the same thing. Start from the tip, and then I press it out. So you can't not press it enough. So there we go. This is what we have. That's that triangle side, and then we took the other triangle side and we made an airplane like this. Okay. Gosh, I hope I remember what the instructions. Okay. So if we're okay, I don't see any questions popping up, so we're okay to proceed to the next step. Right? Okay, so I don't know how to do the angle on this, but we're gonna, oh, somebody's talking? Oh, I'm gonna lift that one side up that I had just created an airplane. Open it up, and then you're going to see that there's an open side here. Stick your finger in there. Okay, I know I'm probably gonna have to do this again, but stick your finger in there and squash it. Make sure that when you're squashing it, this edge here matches up with your previous foot. So squash. Okay, so you squashed it. Take that part that you squashed and return it back. So now you've got this. You see the difference between this side and this side? This side has been squashed and refolded. This side, we're going to do that now. So you're going to lift it up, open it up like that. Find that little hole, put your finger in there and squash it. So now you want this edge to match up with this edge. So squash it down. Okay. And then you're going to fold it back to the side that it came from. So now what you have, and we're almost finished. So now you have this. And you can see that there's these two parts that are flapping. That's the actually the head and the tail that we're looking at. Just a few more steps and you're going to be done with your first crane. So is everybody okay to this point? We're okay? Everything's okay?
Hold on, I think someone might have a question. Okay, why don't you just can you do the step again on the other one?
On this, okay.
I know on the,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so when we go back to the triangle piece that we had pushed in, right? And Jennifer's lovely suggestion that I should use a different color. So we're back to this triangle. Okay, I hope this is a close enough shot. Then we're gonna do the airplane fold. We're gonna make sure that our point is nice and clean. And then I'm going to follow my crease. There's my dog again. And make that first airplane fold.
slow it down a little bit. I think everybody needs a little bit more time.
Okay, no worries. We're going to do this a few times. And I don't want anybody to not finish their project. That would be really sad. So don't worry. So if you got to the airplane on one side, then take your other side, start from your point, press it, and fold it. Okay.
So Judy, Cindy Hamaguchi actually raised her hand.
Okay. What's Cindy?
Cindy, if you could unmute and then ask your question.
I messed up on my.
Oh, Maggie, you messed up on yours? From, at what point did you lose track?
Opening part. That part I got mixed up.
Can you speak up louder, Maggie?
At the part where you put your finger to the pocket, I got mixed.
Are you here? Did you get to this point where we made the airplane wings fold?
I got
Did you
a little messed up.
did you get there?
Yeah, I got there, but when I was opening up the little pockets, that's where
Okay. That's where you got sort of stuck? Okay, so when I take this side and I'm going to find that little opening there. I'm sorry, I think that the camera angle is not so great, but I put my finger into it and then I'm going to squash it down. Okay. What the heck? What happened? Okay, Maggie, did you get that?
I'm restarting.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do it a few more times. So we will start from the beginning again so you can catch up. All right. All right. So everyone else, you've squashed it and returned it back to this position right here. You've got your tail and your head. That's the size that or end up being that. Okay. So turn the head tail part towards yourself and then fold the corner to meet the fold. Fold that corner up to the fold. Okay, thank you. We're trying to fix the camera angle. It sounds like most of you are following, so that's good. So don't worry, don't give up. I'm going to do it a few more times. Okay, so I did the other side, same thing. So we've got both of these sides folded. Okay, but that's not the end of it. Oh wait, where am I? Okay, then you open that up because what you just did was create your sort of guideline fold. Want to marker that? I can see it. Okay, it has been suggested that I mark it. Okay, so you've just folded it and made your mark like this. Okay, and then you're going to open it back up. And so here's another tricky part, and you're probably, those of you who are origami experienced will probably not have a problem with it because it is very similar to making the regular crane. Stick my finger into that pocket and I open it, okay? And then, okay, watch carefully. This is sort of kind of the most difficult part of it is, let's see, which way should I face it? That they'll get it. So you're going to open it up and fold it into the inside. Are we there? Okay, people. So I started folding it like this. Okay. And you will recognize this as part of the pseudo fold that you do. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm drifting. And then you fold it. Okay. So then I'm going to take this little triangular piece that's sticking up, this little flap, and fold it up. Okay. So you got this. I don't know which direction looks easiest for you. You can tell me which direction is good, right? So then I'm going to flip this side because you see when we're folding this, there's this piece right here, which is our head and tail, right? So we want to make clean that up. So we're going to turn it this way and we're going to do that same fold on the opposite side so that when you open it back up, you don't have this little piece of paper sticking out. It's clean on this side. We turn it over this way make that fold on the other side. I'm getting a little bit sloppy. I'm hoping that you get it anyway. So here we are. We've just folded it. Those two flappy things have now they start to look more like a tail and a head. All right. So I'll wait just for a few seconds for you to get to this point. So you got your wing, you got your head, you got your tail, and you got this. Okay. So let me know that you have caught up to that point. There's only going to be probably 2 more folds and you're done. Okay, so don't be discouraged. The first one is always going to be a little bit more clumsy, but if you can practice this inside fold that I did here, you'll totally get it. And you just start. Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
The part where I finished the part where you do the puppet. What do you do now?
It can it's hard to hear. So, Mom, can you type in the chat room what it says? So what she said, so that my technical person can read it to me. Okay. In the meantime, yeah, sorry for everybody who's waiting. So if Cindy will please type the question in. We're here. So we're going to start to move along. I'm going to do more. So anyhow, this is where we're at. Then you're going to take this side, turn it over to the back side, and you're going to fold this point up to the back. Oh, I think we're almost done. Okay. And then you're going to flip it over and it is starting to look like a crane. So it'll look like a crane as soon as I make the head. And there it is. There it is, everyone. Okay. And it's a modular piece. It's flat and they will be connected. So 7 of these, 7 pieces of this is what you're going to go for.
Maggie asks, can you please repeat steps after you have a pocket?
Okay, so I finished one. Hopefully, most of you have already gotten to this point. I didn't get any questions, so I'm assuming that you're okay. So, crane number 2. Let me do it on a clean piece of paper. Am I okay? Fold your paper in half. Right? Fold it again in the opposite direction in half. Crease, crease, make sure your creases are really good. Right? Right? Turn it over now so that it peaks. You've got the peak side. Then you're going to do the triangle. And you're going to take your point to the opposite side and make a triangle. Then you're going to open it up and go the other way and you'll make a triangle. Don't get discouraged. Don't stop. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. Okay. All right. So now we're looking for our triangle. So I got the peak here. And you can see already the triangle right here and right here. And see these 2 folds that are kind of facing inwards? Lift up your paper and just give it a little push and pinch. So you pushed in 2 sides, and then you've got a smaller triangle. Press, press, press. Okay. All right. So some of you might be even going faster than me. Take your point. We're going to do that airplane. I'm getting thirsty. Both sides. Hopefully I'm coming towards where Maggie was having a little stall. So we got, thank you. So we're here again. Okay. We're going to take one side, stick our finger in that little, opening, and then poke your finger in there and puff it up a little bit, and then squash. So when you're squashing, make sure that this edge is meeting up with this edge. Okay, so see, you can see, oops. Squash, and it's met up with that other part right behind it. Okay. Then fold it back to the position that it was, and it's a different thing here. You can see the difference. Take your other side, do the same thing, open it up, poke your finger into the opening. Stick your finger in the opening part right here. Okay. Go inside of there. So just the overhead shot is a little bit difficult, but anyways, you're going to squash it, and you want this edge to meet up with this edge. So watch, you squash it down, and the edges meet here. Then you're going to go fold it back into the position or the side that it came from, and keep on creasing. Right. So this is where we're at. Okay. So Maggie, I think this is probably where it got kind of hard for you, but we're going to do the crease on this side, the flap side, and fold into a point like that. Fold it into a point. Do the other side exactly the same way. Fold it, crease. Okay, are we all there? And I'm sorry, you know, I know that everybody kind of goes at their own separate speeds, but we'll just keep on going. Okay, so we've got this. Right. All right. So we're back to, I think, where it gets a little bit tricky. You want to slide your finger into this opening here. So you puff it out. And then you'll see that your previous fold has left a guideline for you. Right? So that was your previous crease. That was when you did this. And so it left a nice little crease guideline for you. Okay. And you're going to take that, and that crease is going to help you when you want to fold it back in. That little thing is in the way. Okay. So press it down. I'm doing it in the air rather than on the table, so it's a little bit trickier for me. So I'm trying to get closer to the camera. Do the same exact thing using your previous fold as a guideline, and fold. Here, you know, it's not going to like immediately fall into place, right? So you folded those sides in to meet the guideline that you did. You got this little bit of a piece here that gets a little bit tricky. So, yeah, it's really depends on you and the way that you want to do it. So for me, trying to do it for camera, that same piece that we just, I'm going to pinch it and make it meet up at the top here. So you see that fold went like this. Okay. All right. So hopefully you're there. And then that piece that's sticking out like that, which ends up being the wing, I will fold that up towards the head and the tail. So I'm going to fold that up and put it back down, and then crease it. Okay. Real important. That's one of the things. If I'm in a hurry or if I'm confused, I'm going to forget. Okay. So we've got that. Now we want to get rid of these little back sides. We have a question?
Ruby says she's going to leave.
Huh?
Ruby says she has to go.
Okay, Ruby, since you're Maggie's best friend, you can check in with Maggie. And I think Jennifer said that at the beginning that this is recorded. And if you want to refer back to it, then you could refer back to it and finish it. But I hope that when you do finish your projects and when your bread dough comes out and you decorate it and you make your wreath, that you will take a picture and that you'll send it over to JCCC in care of Jennifer, so we can all see what you did. So thank you for being with us today. Thanks so much. And call Maggie. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to clean that side out and turn it over and fold that. So now we don't have that piece that's sticking up behind like that. So we're going to turn it in and fold it. Okay. Has anybody had trouble getting these two cranes done? Okay, that's where we are. One more step, turn it over to the back side, fold the back side up, press it really good, turn it over.
And Maggie says she's having.
Yes.
Okay, Maggie, no worries. You can, I'm going to do it one more time, maybe. I was hoping your mommy or daddy was going to help so that you can get your 7 cranes done. Okay, crane number 2. We're on our way. Okay. So, does everybody seem to look like you need another third one and fourth one? I will do it again. I hope that the rest of you aren't falling asleep because you've done 2 cranes already. That's right. So fold it in half, fold it in half. And you actually, once you get the hang of it, you can do this and make a whole wreath probably in about a half an hour. The other part of it is the decorating part and adding wreaths to it or doing whatever. So, okay, we're back to the basic fold. We want the peak part of it facing us. Okay, we're looking for our triangle. And there they are.
Brian says, loving it. Finally got it.
Oh, I'm so happy that now I can just go home. No, I am home.
Esther would like a third one, please.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
working on the third one now. So we are at that fold in half, fold in half, fold in triangle, fold it in the triangle. Okay, and then we're opening it up, and here's the peak right there. And we are looking for our triangle, and I see it right here. Right, and then face it, and you can see that the paper kind of already is dipped in there because you pre-folded. Take it up. Once you find your first triangle, your second triangle just kind of happens. So push those 2 sides in. Oh man, I'm not being very tidy. What the heck? And here I'm telling you people to be tidy. Okay, so there you go. You found your triangle, you dipped in the 2 sides, and boom, there it is, right? And so the most memorable part of my speech is fold the airplane wings. Okay, so I start with the point, follow my fold guideline. I made 1 wing, turn it over, start at my point, and go again, and I've got my 2 airplane wings. Yes? Okay, we're kind of moving faster now. This is good. So now we're going to take that, and here's your squash. Go from airplane wings to squash. Okay, that makes sense to me. Get in there, put your finger in the opening, push it a little bit to puff it out and help you, and then squash it. Have this edge meet this edge. So squash. I wonder if people took bathroom breaks during this whole thing. And then after you squash, take it back to where it started. And now you've got this. Okay, you can see the difference between this side and this side. So you're going to lift this other side up. You're going to find the opening. I wish I could see you, it's just, I'm have to wash my own ugly hands. But, oh, just flew out of my hand. Okay, so squash again. This edge should meet this edge. So I'm sorry, I can't air fold. So squash it down, crease, and take it back to where it started. And you should have the flappy side right here, which is the head and the tail. Okay, so we're going to take this flappy side and we're going to fold that to the point, back to your fold guide. And then I have to keep flipping it around. Probably you do too. I don't know. Maybe the professionals don't have to do it that way. But I've got that. So it went from that to, these are guideline folds. So they don't really, this isn't the position that you want to put. It gives you a guide. So here we go again with the sort of tricky part. Stick your finger in there and use your guideline. You've already created these folds. So go to that fold, fold it, and it'll go to the center. Use that guideline that you just did. Okay, both sides. Use that guideline. I'll keep drifting. Like that. Okay, and so it comes to this point right here, right here. So that's all one part of this fold. Take it and fold it with your fingers and make a point at this point, right? Then I just fold that up towards the head neck. Oh, we're past. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this part here again. Now I'm going to start to go into high speed. Hopefully everybody's okay. Because once you've done a couple of them, you should be able to just kind of repeat itself. And this is really good repetitive stuff. You don't have to keep thinking about it. So here we are. We're going to flip it over to the back side, take it up and push it down. Fold it. Now we have our head and our neck. I mean our head and our tail, and we have our wing. Okay, so make your crane's head, press it in. I just sort of dip it in and push. Okay, so we're running a little bit over. So hopefully by making these three, I can just sort of quickly teach you how to assemble the modulars. So, okay, follow carefully. It's probably not as hard as you know, or I think it might be. So you take two cranes in your hand. You take the wing and you slide it under the chest of your crane in your left hand.
Lisa, thank you so much. We've got to go.
Who is that?
Please.
Okay, bye. Thank you. You can watch the video to see how to finish it. Okay, thank you. So anyway, sliding this in, you want to take the chest of your crane and the back side of your crane and meet right there. If you can see it right there. So they are attached. So then you see there are two wing parts that are sticking up. Take your wing and fold it to the back like this. So I folded it to the back. Take the other side and fold it to the front, to behind the first crane. And now they're attached. Okay, so let me do it one more time. Take your crane that you're going to put it onto in your left hand. Take the wing, go under the crane. Oh, it's not being cooperative. And then the chest and the back side. Okay, you want that to meet. Just like that. So there you go. And then to sort of hold it in place, fold the wing back, fold the wing forward, and it locks your modular pieces together. So now you have this. So you need 4 more pieces to complete your wreath, and hopefully it doesn't take you too long. Like I said, decorate it. I put some glitter glue on it. I put a ribbon in it. It's just up to you on how you want to do that. I hope that you will try that ones that are not Christmassy colors somewhere down the line like this. You know, they make really nice little gifts. Make a card when you feel like you having a day where you have a lot of patience and you want to do that. The washi paper is gorgeous. So hopefully it's a little bit more expensive, of course, but as a keeper, it's well worth it. So any other last questions? Because I know that I've been going for a little too long and everybody's got to go. Any other final questions?
So actually what I'm gonna do now is switch them all over so that we'll be able to see them one more time.
Okay, great. So will there be a link or something where they can just go and watch it, rewatch the video for places or
Yes.
areas? Okay, so Jennifer will let you know where you can go to sort of finish it up. Because I don't want you to feel like you didn't accomplish your project. Your bread dough is still, whoa! That's excellent. Oh,
I only
that's
have one
excellent.
piece.
Oh, it's Brian. Hi, Brian. Thanks for
Hi,
joining.
Judy. This is awesome.
No, oh, well, you know what?
Oh, look at Jennifer
Anytime.
trying to be the.
Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, you got. Oh, look at that one. Lulu. That's beautiful. Oh, what a good job. Oh, look at that. Okay, I know you're waiting for your acknowledgement. Yeah, there you go. Oh, thank you. You guys are doing really good. And like I said, if there are parts that you got stuck on or you couldn't remember, you can look at the video. But the thing that I found that if I don't try to finish at least 7, then I'm going to forget it in a day or two. So anyways, good job, everybody. And I hope to see your finished bread dough ornaments. I know that yours will be way prettier and way nicer than mine. I'm so happy to see your faces. I mean, God, Liz, I don't know when I saw Brian last, and it might have been at like a 18 Mighty Mountain Warrior show or something in LA. I don't know what, but thank you for joining. Yeah.
I would actually, sorry, Judy. I would
You
like
should
to
have
thank
everyone take a selfie, a
I
group
would like
picture.
I would like to have thank everybody for coming today, and thank you, Judy, for leading this wonderful workshop. Please, I will send out the link so you can watch the video at a later time. So if you miss anything, you can catch up on it. And please try and send us some photos. We would love to see them and be able to share it with Judy. We always like to promote our workshops, so we may use some of your photos that you send. So thank you very much. Thank you, Judy.
During this shelter in place thing, I'm not seeing too many faces except for all these Zoom meetings, but there are a lot of you that I've never met, and there are a lot of you that I haven't seen in a long time. I'm so happy to see you. After we sign out, I'll probably sit and cry for a little while. I wish Barry would have joined our workshop today as well. But yes, thank you, everybody. And I'm sorry we ran a little bit long, but hopefully you'll see what other programs are going on at JCCC, the center. They have a really cool cooking thing. What is it? The matcha cake, rolled cake or something tomorrow. No,
Yes,
that's
tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So any of you who want to make some matcha roll cakes, do that. I hope to see you soon. Stay safe. Wear your masks, and I hope to see you again. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, they want to take a picture.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
Thank
You got screenshots or what?
No, it says Brian wanted to take a picture.
Of
Well,
what?
if you want, I could take a screenshot if everyone holds up their origami.
Everybody who's left, can we just do that real quick so that I'm guaranteed to, oh, do I get to hold mine too? Okay. All right, everybody. Tell me.
Cheese. Okay, awesome.
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy New Year. I'll see you. Bye.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.